Hello, toy friends. Welcome back. I'm Will, and this is the 1-8 team. And with me today, I've got B.A. Baracus, aka Jim Largo,
I
and
pity the fool who don't like 118.
and we've got Hannibal today, Casey. He is our
Hello.
Hannibal. He loves it when a plan comes together. So welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
I'm
Good.
good.
Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Casey. I really appreciate you coming on,
Thanks
and
for having me.
we've got some interesting stuff to talk about later. Let's say hi to some of the people in the chat first. Who do we got? We've got
The epic badger, as usual.
yes,
Got
Mr. Ian
Ian
Sweeney.
Sweeney,
Ah,
Goji, as always.
GOJITRON. Yes.
Bjorn is hanging.
Hey,
Howdy.
Bjorn, how are you?
Beta Ray Bob's in the house, if I can find him. There he
Bob,
is.
how are you, man? I hope to have you on the show again soon.
Scott's joining us. He's been popping up in our chat a lot lately.
Scott, how are
The
you? It's good to see you. We're
the
going to get to
infamous.
the difference between those Blue Beetle figures. Don't you worry. And
Okay.
G-Force.
And
What's
yep,
up, buddy?
G Force is here. And Boba Hicks, our buddy from Ireland. Ted Millich is here.
Ted.
And the
hey,
illus-
Grindhead.
the illustrious Grindhead, yes.
How's it going?
Our buddy Bill from Weird Fantastic,
Hey, Bill.
and
No
our
way
favorite
farms.
barnyard antics of No Way Farms. Good to see them.
It's good to see you, man. All right. Well, guys, we got some 118 news to get into, so let's get cracking here. So let's go. So first of all, hey, the 1-8 team, you know what I mean? That's you guys. That's everyone in this little community that we've got going on here. And just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to talking to you guys about 118 scale toys every single week. And like I said, this is the highlight of my week. So I'm glad you guys are here.
Good to be
Before we
here.
go on, but it's a team effort, you know. So just like Casey here, reaching out and willing to come on and talk toys. If you've got a 1/18 scale toy line that we haven't talked about and you'd like to cover, shoot me a message over on Instagram. I'd love to have you on and chat toys.
Casey, can you tell us a little bit about your podcast before we jump into the
Oh
news?
yeah,
I'm
sure,
curious.
yeah. Let me get rid of this.
Yeah,
It's so rude of me. I'm sorry.
that was fun. I do a podcast called Podcasts from a Pit with my friend Matt. We've done it for about 3 years. It's strictly GI Joe, mostly O-ring, modern, some classified. We talk about going to conventions, going on toy hunts, pickups. Basically, we started building our collections 3 years ago, our
Oh
childhood
wow.
collections, and we just kind of
It's not a mosh pit, Scott.
we just talk about it. We love
And
talking toys.
and there is a link to Casey's channel or his Instagram, which has a link to his chat to his thing. I was having trouble getting a link directly to
Oh,
the
podcast.
podcast itself for some reason. So, but I know
Yeah.
right on your bio, you just click it, it takes you right to the
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah. What's the best
Yeah.
way to listen to the podcast? Through Apple Music, or is there other venues that you would suggest,
It's
or does it?
Apple, Spotify,
Okay.
Podbean. It's on a lot of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
And now we
All
know.
right.
And knowing
Yeah.
is half the battle.
Yeah, and the pit refers to the headquarters of GI
Right.
Joe, aka the pit.
Yep.
So they're podcasting from the pit. Dish
Dish and laughs.
Dish and laughs.
Thank you.
Hey, first time I've ever seen you in chat. Welcome aboard. You're part of the team. All right, so 118 scale news this week. We've got new epic heroes beyond the checklist. So if anyone hasn't been following or they're not aware of it, when they announced the Marvel Epic Hero Series 118 scale figures, they put a checklist out of all the figures. So they had them, and then there was like silhouettes, and it was a mystery. And we thought 2 weeks ago that we had seen them all. So today we're going to explore some possibilities of more figures coming out. Target and Walmart. If you noticed in the last couple of weeks, there's been deep discounts on a lot of toy lines at Target and Walmart. They've cleared their aisles and they've now reset them. So in certain areas, maybe not yet in your time, but a lot of the photos I'm seeing from around the country, uh, Walmart and Target have new product in stock, and that's how I found most of what I found today. So we're going to share some pictures there. Lenore
Now,
Decor,
are you
which
finding?
has
Oh, excuse.
oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to ask: is it a lot of the X-Men '97, or is it other lines, or what are you seeing as a new reset?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get. I have pictures, so we can go
Okay,
through all the
cool.
Marvel stuff. But
Stu says
Lenore,
hi from the UK.
hey Stu, how are you? Lenore Decor, which has been missing in action since about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, in the U.S. at least, and they've even released entire new lines. We've covered it on the show before. Well, we've had a spotting, people, and I'll show you where we saw them. Um, Hasbro's Greedy. I know that's not news. We've got some O-ring updates, and then a little discussion with our special guest about Doctor Who, specifically the 1/18 scale lines. So let's get right into it here. Marvel Epic Heroes, Mech Strike Mechasaurs. Okay, guys, when this came out, I know this is a toy line for kids, and I'm a big kid, so some of the stuff really appealed to me. Some of it, I also have a limit, where like I'm like, it's too kiddie, But I was really excited to be getting some of the Avengers characters in 1/18 scale, and I think on my first video that I put out about these guys, I said I really love the Iron Man, I really love that Black Panther, the other color of Iron Man, I'm not sure, he may grow on me. The Cap, I think he's cool, and that Hulk I was excited to have too. Um, the Ultron looks a little weird. This Mechasaur kind of thing is like they come with a mechanical beast contraption or companion that transforms into like armor for the hero. Uh,
Hmm.
initially, because I'm just seeing pictures of them, I was like, you know what? At least this is something new. I haven't seen this before from them. So it's like not just rehashing the same characters over and over again. So I was actually like pretty excited that they were doing something different. Um,
I'm not a big fan of Falcon Cap. It's like leave Falcon as Falcon because especially with the Mechasaurs, they could have done a cool just Falcon theme and give us
yeah,
Steve Rogers Cap, give us both characters, but they went a
true,
different way. Whatever.
true. I would have liked to see him at least have wings or like a backpack that attaches on there, especially since you could go grab a Final Faction figure who's very much like a um, he's kind of like a knockoff Falcon,
Hmm.
and he comes with wings for
Yeah.
$1.25. But yeah, the Marvel Mechasaurs have an animated trailers on YouTube, and Shang Chi was one of with the dragon. Yeah, really hoping for him. So yeah, we're gonna go take a look at that because of the kind of reveal that we saw. So we'll get to that. So I initially thought these were great, and I'll tell you, I bought a couple of toys, and I was able to get Black Panther, Iron Man, Captain America, and Hulk as they came out in April. The whole line was supposed to come out in April, but the Thor figure, the second version of Iron Man, and Ultron, I was just able to get this week because they just were missing in action for a while. I didn't know where they were. Um, so I was kind of holding off doing a whole review of them. Spoiler alert, I think the figures are cool, but I got to tell you, the mechs are cool too. I like the mech
Hmm.
companions, but I'm going to show you something in a couple slides which has me confused when they transform and become armor. I got to tell you, even as an adult, when I'm putting in there, their feet don't stay in too securely. They don't. They're really not playable, like or posable. It's really just kind of frustrating because it's like a really good idea, but maybe like the execution of it wasn't great. I don't know. I mean, I
Too
love
many
the
fiddly
figures.
bits. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, like they just don't stand very well. I'm not really, of the Epic Hero series, these are my least favorite. With X-Men being my favorite. I thought those came out great. So we did get a reveal that Spider-Man, which has his own line in the Epic Hero series, was also getting a Mechasaurus treatment. And I haven't seen this on store shelves or listings on Amazon yet. Another thing is like if you look at the way he, like the little mech companion, I think is kind of cool. Like you give him like a little mech companion, that's neat. But when you see how see how he like the legs clip in there and the arms clip in. When you have them clipped in, they really can't move. Because I was thinking like
Mm.
Exo Squad kind of like vibe, you know what I mean, where you put the figure in there and but they don't stand very well either. It is interesting, but you already have like, I just feel like maybe it's not like necessary. They're superheroes, so they all have like powers. So do they really need this? Like if they had this like mech companion that was helping them, like I could see how it would make sense. Or um, so this is the one that we saw. So David Salazar over on the Marvel Epic Heroes Facebook group posted this picture last week, and it's of a Hulk Mech Strike Mechasaurus, which was only listed in the YouTube video. So like Marvel or Hasbro supporting this line with an act like a YouTube animated series that kind of goes through the adventures and tells the story and supports this toy line. This is the contraption. You've got, it's like a mechanical gorilla, and then you see Hulk puts it on like a costume. But Hulk is strongest. Hulk not need monkey
Yeah.
suit. Like I don't know if that's really great. Like I would love it if um I don't know. Like I think they're cool, but they're not. But they also cost a lot more because they come with this Mechasaur stuff. So they're like the regular figures are like $10.99. These are like $19 or $18 or something. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
like, I wish they just released the figure without this gimmick.
it's
Um,
very gimmicky. Yeah, it
yeah,
totally looked like an Optimus Primal ripoff.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So the thing, like, I would have done differently because when you saw so if we could take a look at the next slide, Gamma Smasher, which is the name of the mech, as you see in the cartoon, it's a mount that Hulk rides, which would be cool. Just like all of them, I think these would have been better as they were if they were like a mount, and maybe there was like some snap-on armor pieces or something. Like each mech was like a mini vehicle that they rode rather than meshed with. I don't know, because we have Panthera with Siri, Shuri, Binary with which is like a pterodactyl with Captain Marvel. Here's Dragon Scale, as someone mentioned earlier, with Shang-Chi, right? And that's cool, but yeah, I don't think that's a practical toy that they can make. Look at how big that guy would be. Guardian with Groot and Rocket. That's kind of cool. If they had like an armored, Triceratops that they could ride around on. And then Thunderhoof, which is absolutely a mount. I mean, he's 100% a mount. And this is what they kind of teased before the toys came out. So I think the mounts would have been a better implementation of it. And here we see uh, a couple other stills where they showed even just a couple armor pieces from the dragon integrating with Shang-Chi, which is kind of cool because at least then the figure keeps his articulation. He could use his arms and everything like that. Um, Thunderhoof, as you could see, the horns, the hooves, and just some armor pieces get added to Thor, and it's not like he's riding in the suit of armor. So I like these concepts better than what they released. But
Hmm.
are we going to see these? Like even Falcon. Why does Falcon need a bird to ride on when he's Falcon? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I know this is a line for kids, so I'm not, beating it up too much. I'm just happy to get 1/18 scale Avengers figures, but and these three are definitely mounts. I mean, they're not really depicted as anything but that. And then you got Ultron, which they show in the concept art as having like two raptors, but then in the toy, it's like a T Rex. Um, One of the interesting things about it is that he's the only villain in the entire line. And I know Ultron's like a big bad. He's not someone to be trifled with. You know what I mean? Who's the
Right. Which one had the?
Triceratops?
Yeah, was that Groot? No.
Yeah, yeah, that's Stegodon or something, right? With Iron Man, it's called Iron Stomper. But the toy is like really, it's little. It's just and then the Triceratops was this guy right here with Groot
Yeah, that's
and
Groot.
Rocket.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe these were like deluxe versions. Anyway, the fact that Hulk was never on the checklist and then we've seen him show up in stores makes me wonder if they're going to keep going with these, because I initially thought that they were just putting out a few of them and they weren't going to explore these other characters.
It's
But
a neat
because
concept,
that Hulk,
but you're
which
right.
was never
Yeah.
announced, is like there, it's a neat concept, and if they are like rideable mounts, I'm more into them. What do you guys think? I mean,
Yeah. If they'd gone with the mounts and not the snap-on armor, just focused on making them mounts, I think it would have been better.
Yeah, me too. I don't like the armor idea.
yeah, at first, like I said, I even said like, wow, they're doing something different. This is cool, but the way it came out just didn't work out the way I thought it was going to be. And like I said, I've seen some videos where people, they say it works well, but I was like, I'm doing the same thing you're doing on the video, and his leg keeps falling out. Or when I try to stand him, he just falls over. Or if I try to move his arm, the armor falls off. So I don't know if that's just my experience with it, or and if that's what you like doing, then more power to you. But for me, I'm probably still going to get them because I'm a sucker and I want the
Yeah.
characters. But
I'm kind of with Badger on this. If they had made them more like Zords, like they did with Power
yes,
Rangers, where it's a companion animal or a giant mech,
yeah,
I would have been
and
all
maybe
over it.
the story has something to do. Like I feel like actually going up against Ultron in mech suits that are like computerized would be a mistake, because doesn't like Ultron kind of control all machinery? Like he could integrate himself into it and mess with it. So you think they would need something like organic to help fight him or something? I don't know, but I haven't really
Yeah.
got into the story. I just wanted the toys. Like I said,
From an engineering
I
point of
just want
view,
superheroes that
yeah,
can hang out with GI Joe. That's really my
I,
whole
I agree with Scott.
angle.
Whether it's Takara, Tomy, they could have done a much better job on the engineering of this than
Yep.
what Hasbro's trying to do in house.
So we very well may be getting some of those characters. So I'm interested to see how they do that. And new items at Walmart and Target addresses some of this. So I went to Target, they reset their aisle, and I was really pleasantly surprised to see that Marvel Epic Heroes, as well as the other Marvel lines, including the Titan Heroes and some of the vehicles, are now in the main aisle. Previously, these were just on an end cap and never really had a home in the aisle. So that kind of tells me that they're planning on being around for a while. I really want the line to do well, because I want them to keep making characters. I'd love to see more Marvel in the 1/18 scale. But some of the things they're doing are just a little weird. Like we had the X Jet down here. That is $35. It's a little jet. I have it right here. Comes with one action figure. So it's a mini vehicle with one action figure, 35. When the figures are like $11, it just seems strange. This Spider-Man, this is a motorized tank with a water cannon and comes with a Spider-Man figure, but it's $50. Seems like a little steep. I don't know. And then Ultron, who you see on the shelf in the center there, right next to those Spider plush, he's $32. When all the other Mech Strike Mechasaurs figures are like $10.99 or $14.99. I just don't see where we had that jump. I have them here. We're going to unbox them later and take a look. But I'm just curious
Well,
to where
it's nice to see that Walmart and some of the other big box stores have finally gotten rid of that glut of crappy movie tie-in toys that nobody wanted. It's like that's all you saw on the shelves for a long time. So we're finally getting out of that and getting into some toy lines that look like they're a lot more interesting.
Yeah, because it seems like the figures are $11, which is a little more than like the competitor, which would be like Spin Master DC, right? which are usually like $8 or $9. Okay, you're paying a slight premium, but then Ultron just jumps up 3 times the price, and he's a little bit bigger, but I don't think he's like that much bigger. So I don't know.
Well, like Scott's pointing out, the Power Ranger stuff, way better price point for, in some cases, as good a quality or better, and half the
Yeah,
price.
yeah.
So something's not cool there.
And here you
Oh.
see, yeah. Oh,
We're going to get to that.
oh yeah. Literally start just seeing Spin Master Blue Beetle figures at one Target. Yeah, I picked him up, and now you're looking for Carapax. I didn't see him either, but I did get Blue Beetle. He's coming up. But yeah, you see, you got the X-Men line, the Mech Strike, Mechasaurs, the Avengers, and Spider-Man all sharing shelf space at the same time. So I really like that, and I'm hoping they stay in stock. Because, like I said, I like them. I like that you could buy a figure for $10 and it's fun, and I'd love to see more of that. But right
Yeah,
now,
Casey, I know this isn't really your ballywick because it's not Joe centric, but what do you think of these newer toy lines? Do you think they've got legs? You think it's going somewhere? Or
I mean, I'm not really a Marvel guy. I'm more of a DC guy when it comes to comic books.
Mhm.
But I mean, with the 97s there, I could see that going someplace.
yeah,
yeah,
Not so much with the Megazoids or
yeah, it's not for everyone.
yeah,
Like I said, it's focused on the kids, and I get that.
right.
So
Yeah.
I know that like all the accessories aren't going to be like stuff that I really like, but the Mech Strike thing contraptions kind of goes over the line for me, and some people may love it, and that's cool.
of all the Marvel stuff coming out, the X-Men 97 and the Spider-Man stuff, I think is probably some of the better.
I gotta
But
tell you,
yeah,
that Venom figure is my favorite figure in the line. And then, right after that, I just love it. He comes with that huge tongue that comes hanging out, and he's like a little bit bigger than everyone else. So I like him.
yeah,
He's
I'm like Casey. I prefer DC. They haven't been doing stellar work in the toy lines lately. Spin Master's been trying. McFarlane's
Yeah.
putting some stuff out, hit or miss. It'll be interesting to see if this Blue Beetle stuff takes off.
Well, it's funny you say that. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we were going to do this part first. The price is wrong. Oh, there it is. Wrong.
Yes.
This is Hasbro on the toy shelves. So this is some Star Wars stuff I went around there. So for 118 scale collectors, Star Wars offerings in the last year or so have been kind of like, few and far between. We get like a wave, and then nothing for the longest time, or you just see empty pegs for months at a time. So I was
Right.
happy to see something on the pegs, but $20.99 for a 3 3/4 inch 5 POA figure, just because it's a kind of a repainted Boba Fett thing. These are like tribute figures. I guess these aren't really meant for kids. They're meant for adult collectors. But $21, like, I don't know.
I passed on both of them.
Yeah, I really just didn't see the value in it, but some collectors do, and I get that. But what I see is like I recently picked up all the Obi-Wan retro collection 3 3/4 inch figures for like $4 each at
Mhm.
Walmart, because they peg warmed for like months, and they were originally listed at 13 or $14, and then some of the even I just recently passed on some of the vintage collection figures that were like $18, and I was like, why are these $18? Like, it's just like they're just adding $5 just for the heck of it. I don't know.
Right. I had to
I
start
kind of
getting
feel like,
picky.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, I feel like in Star Wars, Boba Fett has become the color remaster repaint that Snake Eyes has been for GI Joe. It's like, let's come out with 6 different flavors of Snake Eyes. Now they're doing that with Boba Fett. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, and Boba Hicks asking if they're hyper articulated. I don't think so. They look 5 POA. I don't think these are the. I think those are the vintage throwback figures. So I don't think they're articulated. And hi, Ted. I saw Ted said that.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not
yeah.
crazy, right? Like, I'm like, am I just being a cheap,
Boba
cheapo
tax.
here?
Yep.
A Boba tax. So yeah, that's fun. And then this guy, Paz Vizsla, right? Which is, he's a badass. He's a heavy gunner,
Mhm.
kind of Mandalorian. Um, but why is he $27.99? He's a
Yeah,
three and three
especially
quarter inch
like
figure.
Scott saying a lot of the Mandalorian 5PO is, $5 at Ollie's. So
Yeah.
kind of hard
Well,
to see that price.
and this peg was full of this guy. They made a bunch of him. And I'm thinking he's cool. He's a deluxe figure, so you add $5, $6 on it, compared to a regular figure. But what makes him almost twice as much as like a regular figure, or $10 more? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people bought them, so I guess I'll have to check out some reviews and see what's so great about him. I don't know what it is though.
He looks great, but
Yeah.
again, for almost $30, I passed too.
Well, and then I was gonna. Oh, I think I put the slide back up because I was gonna say, for $30 you get that Ultron, which I was thinking was expensive, but he comes with a T-Rex, and you get the jet and a figure, so you're getting, maybe a less detailed toy, but it's not the plastic cost.
Mm.
But let's take a look at Jurassic Park because Mattel's got these offerings out there, and for 1/18 scale vehicles and figures, this has been probably the best line for the last couple of years.
Oh,
Long's Toys, hey, how are you, buddy? Yeah, Long's Toys. He does a ton of reviews on all the toys I like too, so it's great to see you here. Um, really enjoy his videos. But Jurassic Park, these are great, man. Look at this. You get this '93 classic throwback color style here, but you get a dinosaur, you get a vehicle that fits 1/18 scale figures, $35. You know that might be a little expensive. Actually, it's a kind of a I don't know. That's probably not the best example here. Um, but look at this one. This is the Velociraptor container. They should all be. What does he say? You should. In the beginning of the movie, he's like, what is that? The $15 knockoff Jurassic Park set? Oh yeah. I don't have it in here, but and then Ian's got some information on Paz Vizsla here.
mm.
It's a unique sculpt with no current other character repaint options, unlike the other manager. Okay, so I get it. He's a bigger figure. They had to get tooling just for him. I get it, but I'm still not sure if it justifies the 27.99. I mean, maybe it does, and I'm not splitting
Eh,
hairs here or anything. I.
they are,
Um,
in my opinion, it's overpriced for what you get.
yeah. So yeah, they should all be killed, right? Oh, they should all be destroyed, right? Is that what he says? Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the shooter, shooter when the raptor. So, but you get 3 action figures, some little diorama pieces, a bunch of accessories, and a velociraptor. So if we're charging $10 a piece for these, 10, 20, 30, 40 makes sense. I'm just
Yeah.
saying this is it's
And
it's a gift pack, so you have to buy 4 things in it, but you get the 2 workers. Those are cool. I think this is priced
yeah, and what
right.
Mattel is doing, like Long's Toys is saying, it's very reminiscent of some of the Kenner stuff back in the day. So it's cool to see.
Yeah.
And I agree, Beta Ray. You could make a cool dreadnought vehicle out of some of those JP trucks.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
Hmm.
yeah. And if you wait long enough, a lot of those Jurassic Park vehicles also go on clearance, and you could get them for a good price. Yes, and Boba Hicks, they should all be destroyed. That's it. That's the line. Yep. Uh, that's a great set, though. $40. That's not bad. $10 a figure is not bad. And then this one is it's a newer set that just came out, and it's funny that we were just talking to Boba Hicks because this one comes with a T-Rex, comes with a Jeep, comes with a figure and some accessories. $53 seems it's a little on the higher end, but I guess we'd have to see that because just like any of you watching out there, if you see something really cool and it's in the 1/18 scale and you want to send it to me, I'd love to feature it on the show. Now, Boba Hicks sent this to me, and then I saw it at Target the next day. So, Boba Hicks, there he is. We're going to give him a shout out right now. Boba Hicks, the link to his Instagram is in the description below. Anyone out there, if you want to link it, or Boba Hicks, but he has recently joined forces with the Johnny Sorensen. Um, and they have come up with the Boba Joe show, Boba Joe. So yeah, check these guys out, guys. The link is in the description. And he sent me this. It's the same toy. He got his at Smith's. But yeah, you get a Mercedes Jeep there with all those great features there. You get all these little extra doodads, and there's a little, I don't know, like a turret, I guess,
Oh yeah,
observation.
that is totally a GI Joe custom in the making, right there.
Oh yeah. And just just so you showed, this is more from Jurassic Park 2, right? Is this when they were like capturing the dinos?
Right.
But
The
yeah,
engine guys were going
mhm.
in and capturing everything. Oh, TJC is here. Just wanted to say hi. Shout out. If you enjoy retro video gaming, he's got some cool stuff on his channel.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, thank you for sending that to me, Boba Hicks. And actually, on his Instagram, he took an awesome photograph. Boba Hicks does some really great toy photography, and yeah, he just posted a figure with this toy in it today. But yeah, that's my comparison though. Is like Mattel is offering so much for your money, or what I think is a fair price for your money, and it just seems like Hasbro is offering stuff, but they're just seems like they're just jacking the price up just because they can. And quite frankly, like you would think the smaller toy companies need to do that because like they're doing less. They have less assets. They're not doing as much business, So Hasbro's the biggest toy company. They're doing more volume, so they could probably offer things at a lower price, kind of the way like Walmart operates. I'm just thinking here. So you think like Spin Master, which is like a smaller toy company, would be able to offer a similar product for the same price, right? But it just seems like it's counterintuitive here. Like Hasbro
Yeah.
seems to be just adding an extra. I don't know. What are they sticking the middle finger up and just saying, it's like "f you, give me another $5"? That's the way it feels sometimes. What do you
Right. Well,
guys
it's like
think? Do you think these
Richard
prices?
Vasquez is saying here,
Oh,
he believes the prices are based on low quantity of units that they're making. They've
yeah,
become very risk averse. And it's like,
that's
you
true.
guys are the big boys. You should be able to take some risks.
That's true. That's a good point. So, I mean, Casey, do you buy any of the current Hasbro offerings? I know you said you cut back on some of the Star Wars stuff recently.
I mean, I get some classified. I
Hmm.
would I would still buy the O rings if they made them.
Sure.
Uh, I I'd stop doing Black Series.
Okay.
They were just getting too expensive. I think most of that. I mean, I know Hasbro pumps up the money, but I mean they got paid Disney too. So
Hmm.
True. I guess there is a licensing thing there that maybe I'm not considering, but it's still, even with all those factors, it feels like they're just adding another $5 on there because they can.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I just,
Mattel is paying a
yeah,
franchise fee for Jurassic Park, and they're still coming
yeah.
in at a good price point. So,
yeah,
And I noticed that the Mattel stuff goes on clearance sooner too. That's how I get
yeah,
my
yeah.
Masterverse.
yeah. The Masterverse and those Jurassic Park things. When I see them on clearance and I pick up like one of those Jeeps and I know it's going to be a future custom, I'm like, I
Yeah.
love it. Absolutely love it. Good point, Badger. Stop buying Black Series, and we'll be selling some. I can't keep up with the Hasbro's prices. Okay, so
Mm-mm.
it's not just me. I'm not just cheap, right? Because I know I am. I'm cheap. I love a good clearance deal. I love snatching up a toy for a great price. Uh, but some of this just feels wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's a good value. And we're going to go to the toy camp, a Blue Beetle. So I did find them on the store pegs. $7.99 for a 3 3/4 inch or a 4 inch figure. Not bad. They come with so let's go over here and let's pull the toy cam up over here. Well, what did I do? Does this look
Yep.
different for you guys? I just went into like full screen or something. Oh, that's
You've
what you
got it. Yeah, you've got it down. You want to go full screen with it?
yeah.
Shazam. There we
There
go.
you go. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, Blue Beetle. So they only had two versions of Blue Beetle. They had Blue Beetle Hero Mode and Blue Beetle Battle Mode. I bought them both. They're only $8, so I think that's a good deal. Here's Blue Beetle Hero Mode, and here is Blue Beetle Battle Mode. Hero
Not a whole
Mode
lot of
comes with
difference.
these. No, there really isn't much difference at all. So I just don't know what they did. So he has this arm attachment with the little battle claw. He comes with the sword in battle mode, and he's got those two little hooks that were much more imposing looking in the things. But yeah, he has the basic Spin Master, 11 points of POA, I guess. Although these shoulder pads greatly limit his ability to raise his arms. But yeah,
Hmm.
they're pretty much identical figures, and they make you buy two. But they're cheap enough. But I don't think you have to go buy both of them if you don't want to. Pick the one you like. I think battle mode looks a little cooler, but that's just my opinion. Or buy them both. I don't care.
It does
I
look
did,
good.
yeah. But he looks pretty cool. And the how do I get this one back here?
Which one do you want to do?
I just want to bring us back up and hide that. Okay. So yeah, he looks pretty good. The bug ship I think is going to look really cool, but there is only an Amazon listing. It's $30. I don't know how big it is, but it could be fun. A big flying blue bug might be
In
a
the
cool toy.
Yeah, in the comics, it was a big ship because it could hold the whole JLA. I'm guessing they're going to go with a smaller version. It'll be more like the Batwing, but either way, it'll be cool.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's that. What do you guys think of Blue Beetle? I mean, no enemy and two of the identical figures, I think is kind of a misstep. They should have just given you the good guy and the bad guy. One stop shop, $8 each.
I think he looks really good. I would love to. If I was going to get a Blue Beetle, I would want the one from the '80s.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
Ted Ward.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, this is the Jamie Reyes version. He's not bad. I like the
no,
suit redesign, but I like the classic character better.
Hmm. Hey, Long's Toys saying, yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Someone posted they're doing a popcorn container that looks like the bug ship. So yeah, it might even be better than the. No, I don't know if it would be better than the toy, but yeah, it would be interesting.
Some of
Um,
those theater promotions, they did an Optimus Prime popcorn truck. They did some other stuff for new movie premieres. Those are cool. They're becoming collectibles in their own right.
yeah, true, true. So Leonard's the core, missing in action for 2 years now. One popped up, and it was actually my buddy Bjorn Jorgensen sent me this picture. I was very excited. Here's the Skystrike aerial combat jet that I have wanted now since I saw one at Joe Fest 2021, and I was unable to buy it because it was already bought. It was already sold, I think. So Cotswold Collectibles had a booth, and they had all of the new toys set up on their booth, and I think they were saying that they were going to start carrying them and become a U.S. distributor. Um,
Cool. That's interesting because they're mostly 12-inch GI
they
Joe
are,
stuff.
and they sometimes get some 1/18 scale stuff in. And they were there at Joe Fest. They said they were going to carry them. I asked if I could buy that one. He said someone had already purchased it, but they were keeping it on display. But unfortunately, yeah, Bjorn just said it. Yeah, the Beast Bomber's still there, but the Beast Bomber was available in stores, and that's a reuse from. So even when like Toys R Us was still around, or this one was even sold at Walmart pre 2020. Um, this one, the Sky Strike, which is the one I want, I have never seen this on U.S. soil, and unfortunately, before I could get it, Bjorn's boss sold it to someone already. So. Um,
Casey, do you like using core stuff to integrate with your Joes, or do you like keeping them separated?
I've never bought any. I'm not opposed to it. They look pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, they do actually have some good vehicles. Some of the figures are okay too. But yeah, I was excited to at least see a sighting. So that means they're getting around somehow or another. Bjorn never really gave me the story on how they appeared, so some guy just brought them in and sold them to the shop he works at.
Hmm.
Custom creations, guys. Well, I like customs. I like seeing other people's customs, and every once in a while, I dabble and I might make a thing or two. Um, you can send me pics, guys, if you're working on anything you've created, or better yet, you want to come on the show and talk about them. I'd love to see them. And then this channel wouldn't be Wilhelm Toy and Hobby without the hobby. And for most of the time, it's mostly just the toy. So for today, I just thought I'd show you some of the hobby side of it. Let me just, before I do this, let me get a little bigger here. Okay. Yeah, I'm really not good at this. I do it because I enjoy it. So, and I don't have much confidence in my abilities to customize or to create things. So, take it easy on me, okay, guys? I'm going to show you a couple customs. Try not to beat me up too much here. All right, where was I here? All right. Oh, 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 like that.
Which one do you want to bring up?
I got it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, check it out. Boom. So I saw this thing. Hey Scott, that's not this kind of show. All right. No, I'm kidding. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. So yeah, over at Walmart, they've got the click and play um, little play sets that they do. There's like a dinosaur one. There's a military one, and then this one was called like the Space Explorer set. But I'm always looking for stuff, and I'm like, does that vehicle look like it could fit a 1/18 scale figure? And if the answer is yes, I'll pick it up and give it a go. A lot of times, like the most common thing you have to do is like cut a foot hole, like in the footwell, like so the figures could sit better, and that's something that I had to do here as well. So yeah, this is the Kid Connection play set. I didn't do anything with that, but that looks like you could scale that launch pad and the kind of the decking there and everything. You could put some 1/18 scale guys on there and use that as a base, but it would probably
Yeah.
need some
Break out
some
your airbrush and put a little detailing on it. That'd be cool.
But I did take a crack at the ship last night, and I gotta say it felt really good to just kind of sit down and just have some fun. So that's what I came up with, guys. That is just a quick and dirty paint job. Not a good one at that, but I was looking for I was going for this is like a Pee Wee Herman moment. I meant to do that. But it is kind of what I meant to do. I wanted an old, rusty, kind of dirty starship that
It's
has been
cool.
traveling around. Yeah, and in it, I threw my favorite Kit Bash creation, alien creation here. Um, and that's a ship. That's the driver, and I hope to make more. So if any of you find one of those and you make one, you know what? Let's do a challenge right now. I challenge you to go out there and pick up this inexpensive toy and make something really cool. If not just for the fun of it, I'd love to see what you
Yeah.
guys come up with because I am not very good at this, and I'm sure some of
Looks
you out
good.
there will come up with
Yep.
something really great.
Scott's got a good idea. When he goes out searching and scavenge hunting, he always carries a Microman with him to see if it'll scale well. It's like, that's a good
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
That is a good idea. Yeah, and like if I had more time, I would love to do something maybe with the canopy, like make it look a little more worn. Maybe turn that circle in the back into like a turret with like a gun or a cannon or something on it, and maybe add a little more detail to the cockpit. But
Who did you use
well,
for a pilot? What line did that come from?
okay, so that's a final faction figure with a Dollar Tree Jurassic Park mini dinosaurs. They make these mini dinos with like
Hmm.
really big heads and like small bodies. But if you cut their head off and stick it on a final faction figure, you got yourself a cool alien for 250. So
Yeah.
that's all that is. Yeah, that's a final faction figure. That's the guy that's like the deep sea diver, and that
Cool.
is a Jurassic Park mini. And then I cut the spine off of his back and I glued it onto the guy's head. So there you go.
Very
I
cool.
saw that on a Facebook group. Someone else did one, so then I just kind of did my own. I didn't copy what they did. I made my own versions, but it wasn't my idea. So just want to let you guys know that. All right, what do you guys think of this? Because all right, I'm not much of a digital artist here or a sculptor, but I did make this in one sitting. And does this look like the Blackbird jet or reminiscent of it? Because this is what we got for the 1/18 scale, and I would love to see something bigger. So I was thinking this would be like the size of like the Cobra Night Raven,
Hmm.
if you know the size of that. Um, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a professional sculptor. I just kind of I looked at a picture of it and I made this in a quick program. And this is a one time session. I just sat down and did it. I haven't tweaked anything, and none of these pieces are together. But with these programs or with these projects, I tend to like start doing them, and then I totally lose confidence, and I just stop doing them because I say like you know I don't know. So I decided to go against my better judgment and show it to you guys today, hoping that maybe you guys could be that voice that keeps me going on this because I will easily just drop this project and never do it. But if you demand it of me, I will. I will probably continue and refine it, and make it look a little better, and try and get a functional model built and
So this
get
is
that out.
designed to be 3D print. What program do you
Yes.
use to design?
So, like I said, I'm using the little kid program. It's called Tinkercad. It's a free program. It's online. It's like an educational 3D modeling software because I have no other skills. So I do have a 3D printer. As a matter of fact, I'll get to something really cool on my 3D printer in just a second. So but it works. You can make it happen. I watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and good, good, good. So recently, I saw on Instagram someone made these for the 1/12 scale, and easily if you got the file, you could print it. You could shrink that file down. But then I heard that the guy was going to like do a Kickstarter and start selling these. And if you've bought any of like the 3D printed vehicles on like classified scale or anything like that, they're usually like hundreds of dollars. And I'm like,
Mm.
so just for me, I'm like, you could buy a 3D printer for like a couple $100. Why not just buy a 3D printer, get the thing? So my plan is to, I don't want to do a Kickstarter for it, but I want it, and I'd love to see other people get it too. So I don't want to charge for the thing, and I don't want to print stuff and sell it to people. That's not really something I'm interested in. But if I can make this and get it out there to people like in the community that are interested in it, I'd like to do something like that. So I'd like your feedback on it. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I said, criticism, constructive criticism is always welcome. Because if you see something that's off, let me know. But if you do remind me, I will do updates on this as we go forward.
Well,
Yes.
Casey, O-Ring Joe's had a ton of great vehicles. Is there anything you would like to see 3D printed in that 1/18 scale that they never did? Maybe something from the comics or cartoons, or do you think they're pretty well good to go?
The Cobra helicopter. You always
Yeah.
see that
Yes. Yeah.
transport. That would be awesome.
Oh, Casey, you said you got to go to the Kentuckiana show, and
Uh huh.
you got to see Christopher George. Makes a lot of like really cool stuff, and he works to completely, without a 3D printer or anything. Everything's made out of cardboard. Did you
Yeah,
get to see his stuff up close and
I
talk to him
did.
about it?
Yeah, I didn't get a
Looks
chance to
pretty
talk to
good.
him,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And he did. I think he did do a cool Cobra helicopter, right?
yeah, it was like it was like big transport.
Yeah,
I don't hard to tell. It looked more like a jet, maybe. I don't know. It was
sure.
amazing though.
Yeah, so that's pretty
Yeah, it kind of
cool.
reminded me of like the Shield helicarrier, but Cobra slant to it. It's kind of
Oh,
neat.
that
I
thing,
like
yeah,
the
that was
design.
the
Yeah.
Ragnarok. Yeah, 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 that was huge. But he's done other like projects where he's done like just a scratch built jet or like a helicopter, or he made a giant his tank. A bunch of really cool stuff.
G4 says he uses something called Fusion 360. Have you
Yeah,
played with that?
I have not. I don't have it, but I think it's the same company that makes Tinkercad. Like I said.
Okay.
But yeah,
The
everyone has their own
yeah,
favorite.
we talked about the Warner
The
Brothers six pack last week, and it was kind of a disappointment.
Well, I saw other people buying it, and they have it because that Shazam figure I think looks cool, and the Aquaman figure is unique. But the other four figures are just the Batman movie figures and the Flash movie figures, right? So I was just hoping that they would release those two unique figures, kind of as single carded figures. I would have liked to see that.
Scott brings up the Star Trek. Was it LJN or was it Galoob that made those when they were doing their? They did a vehicle
I
of one
thought
of the
it was
shuttles.
LJN.
Playmates did some stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
There's some new Star Trek stuff coming. We'll talk about that.
Looks great.
yeah. So if I have tons of those other figures, so like when they went clearance, I bought a bunch of them just to kind of have extras and stuff, like in case I want to make customs. So when I saw that I would have to pay like 35, so but yeah, I'd love to see what you think of those. I really logs. I saw that there's a listing for like an Aquaman movie 4 pack on Amazon, but there's no picture for it. So I'm curious to what that is too. I would like to see
Mm-hmm.
that. And where
Very
was I? Oh,
interesting.
customs. And then I made this god awful creation. And this is remember when Beta Ray Bob was on? He had that skull. So
Yeah.
I found them and ordered one. And then I just cut up a Final Faction vehicle and glued it back together. It's not finished. This is not painted. It's just kind of kit bashed together right now. And there's my dude on the back. Just trying to make something fun.
Looks fun.
All right. Hey, guys, so that's it for customs. If you got anything really cool out there that you've seen and you want to share it, send it in or come on the show and talk about your custom creations. I'd love to hear what you guys are working on or see what you guys are working on. O-ring updates, because we live in the time of the O-ring renaissance. I got to do a couple quick updates, and I know there's more out there as far as O-ring goes, but I got to tell you, I do apologize for the rushed, nature of this show because I really did have a hell of a week at work, and there was so much more I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't get to. So just wanted to remind you that the Easy Kill 9 Kickstarter is still going. I think it goes until the end of the month. And this is a initial offering of 4 figures. You got 30. You got Bludgeon. This guy. What's his name? It's not on there. Okay. And Malcolm Zydek, the Master Slayer. Which looks kind of like, I think we were talking like, it looks like he's like a mix between like a Crimson Viper or Crimson Guard and like Wild Weasel, maybe with a little bit of a, but he comes with that cool mace and that like medieval broadsword. But yeah, he's the master Slayer here. Anyway, go check them out, guys. The link is in the description below if you want to support them. Initial offering of 4 figures. Kickstarter still going. I'd love to see these guys get made.
Yeah. So they're only in
Oh.
Kickstarter right now. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't think they have another listing for these yet.
No. This is just a Kickstarter for these 4, and then when these 4 are funded and they come out, they will add. There are so many more figures for this line, but they're just starting with these 4. So yeah,
Right.
and
If
these
you're
are gonna
not,
be
yeah, if you're not big into the Kickstarter, keep an eye on places like Big Bad Toy Store, because sometimes what they'll do is they'll fund the Kickstarter and then they'll start carrying it on their site. You pay a little extra, but then you're not dealing with the Kickstarter deal.
yeah. So yeah, if you go on Big Bad Toy Store, and I forgot to mention this, but look up Strike Force Alpha. Strike Force Alpha are coming out. Follow them on Instagram, and you can see pictures. They got the packaging all down. It's in production. They're coming soon. You could pre-order them on Big Bad Toy Store right now. Strike Force Alpha. It's another great O-ring line. I don't think I have any slides of it on here, but we'll cover it in a future episode. So yep. And then Delta 17, War in the Shadows, coming later this year. This is not a Kickstarter. This is just coming out. They've made the figures. They're in production, or they're going into production like very soon, and they will be out by the end of this year. Um, oh, Longs, I'm glad you asked. Easy Kill 9 is a new O-ring line by Zyka Toys. And oh my goodness, what is his name? You guys won't
Yeah,
happen to know.
they're in partnership with another company that's doing
Yeah.
these. I can't remember the name right offhand.
Okay, I'm a screwball. I messed up. But anyway, it's really cool. Just look them up. Easy Kill 9 or Undead Operator, I think was the name of the line. Or go to the Zyka Toys social medias and you'll find them. Or just click the link in the description below. But yeah, it's a new O-ring line being launched, and they're on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The skateboard chick looks more like a Fortnite character, but the other ones, they're more zombie killer kind of thing. I think that's kind of their thing with this line is soldiers versus zombies.
All right. And then Delta 17, War in the Shadows. Like I said, just coming out, no Kickstarter, fully funded. They will be on store, or you'll be able to order them later this year. They just released this picture of Okami, which is the cyborg ninja army builder for the enemies, and they look awesome. And just as if you're a fan of the GI Joe O-ring line, the hand attachments for these guys are compatible with the Cobra bat. I think that's a cool feature. And you could also, I think, take the bat accessories and make them work for this. And all of their accessories store in their backpack, which is a really cool feature for this figure.
This is the line I'm looking most forward to.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm all in on this, and even probably multiples on some of the troop builders. There's my dude right there in the back with the mohawk. I just love him, man. Oh my god, he's my favorite. And then for the enemies, it's what's her name from Death Sparrow.
Yeah,
I love her. She's my favorite figure. She reminds me of what was her from Police Academy? Callahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're taking a very Cold War, Russian style specialist group and integrating that into this. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, these are the figures. These are just outdoor shots that the creators posted on their social media page. Go check them out, man, and follow them on social media because they're coming out with the stuff, and it's just awesome. I can't wait. And
Yeah,
guys, just with that, that's all I had for today. If there's anything you guys would like to see, let me know. Are there any 118 scale lines that you'd like to talk about? Message me on Instagram. Come on the show. And there's a link in the description.
well, as an O-ring Joe fan, Casey, is there any of these new O-ring lines that you're really excited? I mean, Delta 17, obviously, we're all looking forward to that. Any of the other ones strike your fancy, or?
Yeah, Operation Recall
Mm-hmm.
and Call Sign Longbow. I think you take all three of these and they slot right in one big line, really.
I'm all in on all of them. So
me too.
And I wish that they were just coming out regular in like smaller increments, like wave 1, wave 2, and I could just buy them like normal. But with the Kickstarter model, you kind of have to go all in and buy them all, and then wait a while for them. And budget wise, that's not the best way for me to shop for toys. But I wish they were at store shelves.
I got the Ninja one too.
Hidden Force, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm in on that
Force. Too. I mean, and I just can't wait to get them. I was thinking about Casey at Joe Fest. I was able to pick up like a GI Joe 1992 headquarters. The kind of like reissue one. Yeah, it's a beater one, but I was thinking of like maybe doing it as maybe a base for one of these new O-ring lines. I don't know, like a custom idea. I'm just trying to think about something. But yeah. So if there was anything you guys had any questions about any of the news, or if there's anything you think I missed, let me know. If not, we're going to move on to today's special topic.
I'm with No Way. Cyborg ninjas with lasers riding laser sharks. I'm there.
Holy shit. You know what? That's a good idea. Um, that's great. Oh, Ian Sweeney's got to head off. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you as always. Yep. Keep the 118 faith. Peace. That's great.
Yeah. Cyborgs and Ninjas. It's peanut butter and jelly, baby.
Well, Casey, you reached out to me and you said, let's talk about 118 scale Doctor Who. And I was like, who? And, ha ha ha. So, I loved Doctor Who when I was a kid. Was it Tom Baker, guy with the scarf? He was my dude, right? Always caught that on PBS. I did get into like the kind of was it always going on? Did Doctor Who ever end?
Yeah.
It took a hiatus.
Oh, okay. And then like in the early 2000s on like one of the cable networks, it came back on for us.
On Fox, they did a one-shot TV movie that was it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. McGann was the doctor in that. He took over from Sylvester McCoy. He was a good doctor. He just didn't really get a chance until they went to the Big Finish audio, and they've explored his doctor a lot more there. And then we saw with Russell T Davies the re-emergence on the BBC of Doctor Who.
That's the one that I followed that show for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously anything with like all of the stuff that happens in Doctor Who, I'm a big fan of. You got time travel, creepy aliens, weird robots.
There was I think it was either Australian or New Zealand. They did a production where K9 had his own show. And there was, of course, the Sarah Jane Chronicles or Adventures. Those were fun. Some good spinoffs. Torchwood, yeah, that was fun too.
So I remember when Torchwood came out. Wasn't it around the same time or when they relaunched?
It came out.
I think over, right? There was like
when the 10th Doctor David Tennant took over, Torchwood became kind of a spinoff with Captain Jack. So
that's, I think, when I got back into it for a while. But like I said, it's been a while. It's fallen off, but I'm not going to say I'm a super fan or anything. But when Casey mentioned there was 118 scale toys, though, I was intrigued. And he said he'd come on and talk about them. Casey, what do you know about the 118 scale Doctor Who?
I know they didn't make enough of them.
Okay.
I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I like 118 scale, and Doctor Who's my favorite show, so it's a win for me.
Yeah. So, Jim, and Casey's got a couple there too. So is that David Tennant?
Yes,
that's
okay.
And they come with their own stands.
Very cool.
But I'm also lucky to have a Doctor Who store close to me, so.
There's a Doctor Who store?
Yes, which I got some toys yesterday.
Did you? Oh, that's cool. Did you just get those?
Yeah, yesterday.
And you said they were expensive too, right? That was one of the issues?
On Amazon or if you try to get them overseas, they are. But I mean, this was less than $10.
Wow.
That's not bad.
That's a good deal.
For an Iceware.
The Martian guys. Was it Character Options is the name of the company? Most of their Doctor Who stuff has been 5-inch scale, and they were very successful with that. I have a lot of their 5-inch scale stuff.
So just
118 just came out around the time of the 50th anniversary of the show, and they did it for a minute, and then it just kind of went away because everybody's like, it wasn't compatible with everything else that everybody had already bought, so it just didn't have legs on it. People weren't into the 118 version.
Because when Beta Ray Bob said he wanted to talk about the Common Rider stuff, I was familiar with it, but I've learned much more about it, and I've even ordered some, as you saw with that the custom, and I've got some stuff in transit. When you brought this up, I started researching it, and I couldn't find much on it. So here's just a card back from an eBay listing I saw, just to give you an idea of what was available. You see there's like 4 figures there. There's a couple doctors, one of the companions, and a monster. Also the statue. I remember that. I forget what they're called.
Weeping Angels.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. They did try something new with this line that I wish they'd continued. Yeah, they did scenery bits or play sets that were actually from particular episodes. I think Casey has an example of that he's picked up. Those were
Oh,
neat. They didn't really do those for the larger line. Yeah,
like
that's it.
these? Okay.
Hmm.
Again, these are
Which one do you
only.
have?
I have the
Let me
what they
pull you up
call it,
big.
the Dalek Invasion Play Zone.
Oh, I
Hmm.
didn't even see that one. That looks
Yeah,
cool.
it only
And
And
that's
it
came out.
came.
like a 3D like a cardboard diorama, right? Like you put
Yeah,
together. Oh,
you just it says that you just fold it, so we'll know in a couple days. I'm gonna break
okay.
her
And
open.
you plan on opening it and getting it and getting it displayed, right?
I'm an opener. I open
Oh yeah.
everything.
All right, cool. So yeah, this is the Angels Take Manhattan place that I found.
Yeah, I wanted
Um,
that one, but they didn't have it.
Yeah.
and this was on a website. I believe there's a link in the description. It was called like DoctorWhoStore.com or something. So I wasn't sure.
Hmm.
Um, and then this is the one that you have, right, Jim? The
Yeah.
Spin and Fly TARDIS.
I have that TARDIS and the 11th Doctor, the guy who wears the dicky bow, the bow tie. Um, they're cool. I'll show you a comparison if you like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so let me
Maybe.
blow up here. Yeah, so a lot of these playsets he did were for the 11th and 12th Doctors because that's what was popular at the time. So yeah, let's go up here. So this was the flying TARDIS for the 1/18th scale, and then I've got the 11th Doctor for that time period. So the gimmick was I don't have batteries in it, but if you hold the bottom piece, you can spin it as it would spin in flight, and it would make the TARDIS sounds. You can open it up, and it has the TARDIS interior, so you can see the
Yes.
setup there.
And before the stream, I think I asked Jim if it really flew. So I really thought that you hit it and it went
If
and like
if you
helicoptered away or something.
Yeah, if you toss it across the room, yeah. So this was the 1/18th compared to their 5-inch scale TARDIS, and so you can see the color's a little different. They went with a little bit brighter blue during this season, but it's the same interior, it's the same TARDIS. Um, with the original era stuff for the 11th Doctor, when they did the remake of the inside, he kind of had an orange glow to stuff. With the Capaldi era, it kind of went to a more blue. So this is more of the Capaldi era 12th Doctor TARDIS. So some of the details is kind of hit or miss. The figures are good. Again, they're 1/18th scale. They've got decent articulation, but everybody was buying the 5-inch scale, which is really
Yeah.
super detailed. And you can see where if you're already buying a whole set of these and all your doctors are this scale, you're not going to just suddenly shift gears and go to these guys. So I think that's why the line didn't last very long. They did a couple of stuff for the anniversary, mostly the 11th Doctor and 12th Doctor with Companion, which was what was her name? I think you've
Clara?
got her there, Casey. Clara. Yeah, Clara was the companion that bridged the 11th
There she is.
Doctor, Matt Smith,
Is that
and
her
the
in the
12th
middle
Doctor.
there?
Yeah, wearing the little
That's her.
cardigan type skirt
Yep.
and stuff. So they did do
So
a David Tennant 10th Doctor because he was in the 50th anniversary, and they did a couple of the villains. And that was it. They've
I
gone
saw
back to the
this thing
5-inch
and
scale
I
stuff.
really wanted this. Who is Hyde in this time zone playset? This guy looks
Yeah,
creepy, man.
that was a kind of a gothic horror episode. It was only in one episode, and
Okay.
it was kind of a weird, kind of one of those where the monster isn't really a monster. It was just kind of
Oh,
how
he's
you
like
just
misunderstood color.
misunderstood. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Fun story though.
Yeah, these look cool though. I dig these diorama playsets. I think they're kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
these
I,
are some of the
I plan on
listed.
going down the rabbit hole and try to hunt these all down.
Okay. Well, hey,
we're-
if you go to DoctorWhoStore.com, this is
Mhm.
recent. I just took these screenshots yesterday or the day before. So these look like 1999. I don't know what shipping is like, but that could be an option for you, right?
Yeah,
$20 is a little steep, but not too bad, right?
yeah. I mean, they don't make them anymore, so
Yeah. And there was some like I mean, I'm down for any one of the doctors, the companion, all of them. I see all of this stuff and I like it, but this one was only $10. This Ice Warrior, is he like a
Hmm.
Mhm.
lame villain? Is he like the Jar Jar Binks of Doctor
No,
Who?
no.
No,
Ice Warriors are really cool.
Okay,
They're badass.
yeah,
They
only
were
ten
from the
bucks.
original series back in the day. Who fought the Ice Warriors? The third Doctor? It was back in the
I think
70s they
so.
came about. And then they came back in like was it the 11th Doctor, I think, and the 12th Doctor both had some run-ins with the Marsh
Yeah,
and Ice Warriors. So they updated the suits, made them a little bit more, cool from the
Hmm.
the 70s. The 70s was more B movie monster. The redos were a little bit more updated, just
I
like they
like,
did with the Daleks and the
yeah,
Cybermen.
mm,
I like the 10th Doctor and obviously the original or my original Doctor. But who's your favorite? You like
uh,
Dr.
Bow Tie
Pepper
Man?
is Bjorn's
Oh,
favorite.
Jesus.
I like Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor.
Okay.
He's
Mhm.
my favorite. I like Jodie
Yeah,
too, though. She's been really good.
I like her. I don't like Chibnall's writing for the show, but I thought
Yeah,
she had an interesting take on the character.
yeah,
So, like I said, there wasn't much that I could find. That's it. I just found these slides, and it was mostly from two different websites. There really wasn't much there. And when I looked on eBay and like even Walmart had like a 3-pack listed, but it was like really expensive. Um, since there's the other toy lines, a lot of websites don't have this. You can't filter for scale. Not
yeah.
all websites. So I was digging through a ton of like eBay listings for the 5-inch, and I wasn't sure based on the picture because there's no frame of reference. So these were the only ones that I could find that were definitely the 3 3/4 inch ones. But it looks like we got a lot of it here.
Yeah, I do the 5-inch too, but I
Hmm.
mean, I like 1/18th best, so I
Hey,
will. That's my rabbit hole. I'm gonna get them all.
Yep.
I'm with you, man. If you see any good deals, let me know because now this is yet another line that I want to go down and I want to get.
Well, I'm happy I have the 1/18 scale TARDIS and Doc. So when I get my Delta 17 guys, I can have the Doc show up and help them out against some Cyber Ninjas. That'll be fun.
I
Yeah,
got
there you
mine.
go.
Oh,
Nice.
fantastic! That
Just
is
got that
great.
yesterday.
Did you? All
Yeah,
right, all right, nice, congrats, man. That's cool.
yeah.
So
It was so
yeah,
fun.
that's so anyone watching, if you got a good lead on some things, hit Casey up, let him know. Casey, you're on Instagram, right?
Yep.
As
Podcast from the
Casey,
pit.
our podcast from the pit. Yep, and I think there's a link below, so you could click on that. Daylight Christmas lights. Oh, our
Yeah,
patio lights. You can
Oh
use the
yeah.
plastic molds as army building figures.
it's a
Yes.
good idea.
And there was something I forgot from earlier. I just wanted to, if we're done talking about that, I think Scott, you were asking if I had a 3D printer. I do, and I 3D printed something today. I wanted to share with you guys that I didn't have time to photograph, and that is for my Marvel Epic Hero Sentinel. I made a little capture cloth. Ooh, wee, wait, can you see it? I got a little.
Um,
Oh,
Soccer Hernandez. I have seen some. I don't know if it was Thingiverse. Somebody is making files, the
Oh,
3D printer files for Homelander.
oh, is that right?
Uh,
I didn't know that.
the
I
head
can,
sculpt and the body. Um,
yeah.
I'm not sure exactly, but we'll look into that. If we figure it out, we'll put it on a future show.
Yeah, so obviously, I got my Sentinel. I wanted him to be able to capture the X-Men. So I found this cheap USB light with a little coil kind of thing. I cheaply just zip tied it to his arm for right now because looking, but I did make the capture claw with, I designed it in Tinkercad. It does open, so you can release
Cool.
the figure and, you know, trap him back in there. It needs some refinement. I'd like to, get it better, but that was just a quick and dirty 3D print. Just as like a proof of concept. But that's something else I was working on. Yeah, just wanted to show that.
good proof of concept. It definitely
Yeah.
works. I used something similar to that when I redid the Doc Ock arms on the Marvel Legends Doc Ock, because the ones it came with didn't have any posability to them.
Yeah, yeah, and that's I noticed that. Like even with some of the older ones where they just have like plastic. Well, actually, I didn't really get to the unboxing portion of it today, but they just came out
Oh,
with a
cool.
Doc Ock for the Epic Hero series, but he is only 5 POA. That's really weird because all the other ones are like
Hmm.
11 POA, and he comes with a water squirter that I don't really need. You know, like a water cannon. How many parents are going to be thrilled that their kid is pumping water around the house, you know, out of Doc Ock here? But yeah, that is him. But these don't bend either. Like they're fixed in place.
Yeah.
So you know, it may be that might be my next project is working on some better claws for my 3 3/4 inch version here.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
cool.
yeah,
Because he
but it's
really needs
cool
to
to
have
have another.
articulation.
Yeah, it was good to have another villain for my line because, like I told you, it was like they launched the Spider-Man line and Venom was the only villain. So now they just released Carnage and Doc Ock. Now you got 2 more Spider villains, and they did the Guardians of the Galaxy line, and they didn't even give you a villain for that one, which was kind of like,
Yeah.
well, you know, who are they supposed to fight? I don't know. I
Weird.
don't know.
Oh, one other thing I'll point out before we jump off the Doctor Who stuff. They did a whole line of Daleks. They have every color of Dalek you want, even in the 1/18 scale. So if you're a fan of these
Oh,
guys, they do a bunch in the 5-inch line too. You know, but if you want the classic look, this is like the first edition, or if you want some of the other colors from the different eras, they still have a bunch of these out there, and they're fairly inexpensive. So
Mhm.
they can be had.
Yeah.
what was that? Casey, hold that up
Oh,
again. The
Which one? The little one or the big? Oh yeah, he's got
Casey had
the Dalek set.
yep.
oh, it's a whole set. And did you
Yeah,
just get that one too?
Yeah. Yesterday.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, you just scored a whole bunch of stuff. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions about that, if not, I did tell some people we were going to unbox these guys today. So if you guys want to just chill with me for another couple minutes here, I do want to get these out of the box, but I did cut them open before the stream so we could get a better look at them. And these are real quick and easy. Yeah. Mm-mm. So this is the Iron Man. Um, this is the gold variant, and that's him next to Blue Beetle. There, you can see him. Can you see him? Oh, should I move him
do
back a
they
little bit?
scale pretty well together, or is I'm
I
guessing
think
the Spin
so.
Masters are a little taller, aren't they?
Spin Master. Yeah, it depends on the one you get. You know, I would say with Thor, a little. Not. I mean, I don't know. Someone might like him, but his figure. It just seems kind of.
He doesn't come with a cape. Does he have
Yeah.
his hammer, or does he have Stormbringer?
So he doesn't come with a cape, but he comes with this Stegosaurus Stormbringer.
Hmm.
It's a weird thing. Like, I just want to hold it up there. It's like they stuck Stormbringer up a Stegosaurus's butt, and then he's picking him up by his head and wielding him as a weapon. So I kind of feel bad for the Stegosaurus, and I don't understand how that adds power to his hammer. But it just seems like an odd choice, right?
That is a weird one. I'm going to
Am I?
step out and grab a tasty beverage. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, am I wrong, people? Am I wrong? I mean, it does exactly what that looks like, right? Or the tail. I guess the hammer is his tail, but I don't know. Okay. Let me get Doc Ock in there. Try not to knock everyone else down. And then last but not least, we have Ultron, who I've been waiting to see for quite some time now. I don't know if I'm going to open up the T-Rex right away. I might do a video on that later. I think you want to see a good video there. Speaking of which, I think who was it? Longs mentioned that we had brought up Common Rider before because Beta Ray Bob came on the show and talked about that toy line, which got me into that as well. So I really appreciate that. But he said, yeah, he's got a lot of videos and stuff on that. So I don't have a link, but just look up Long's Toys. He's got a great channel. Lots of good stuff on there. But here is Ultron. I mean, he's not a version of Ultron we've ever seen before. So he's all right. He's fully articulated, which is pretty cool. He is bigger than the average figure there, so he stands a little bit taller. Odin's beard. Mine hammer is lodged in the rectum of this beast. I mean, that's what it looks like. I didn't make the toy. I'm just saying what it looks like. I'm happy to have a Thor figure, but they could have dropped the accessory and just given me a better cape.
You might have to 3D print him a hammer or something.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the story is there with that, but
Scott says he uses his Ultron as a stand-in for the T2. Nice.
Oh, he has a missile. He launches a missile. I love missile launchers that I never use. So, all right. So you got a bunch of dino legs and dino tail pieces, and somehow this thing turns into a T-Rex. I don't want to lose any pieces. Let me put that to the side.
I picked up. I'm drinking some Raptor. I don't know if you guys have this in the States, but figured that was appropriate for the Mechazord kind of stuff.
That's banned in several countries. Guatemala not being one of them.
Right.
So yeah, this goes together pretty simply. And yeah. We'll get him on.
Oh, Scott's saying his favorite Thor is one he picked up in Japan, and they did a disc line. Interesting. I don't remember that, but I'll have to look into it.
I did.
There's some cool lines out there.
Yeah,
especially some of the ones that Bandai and some of the other Japanese companies have done. Really innovative in their articulation and the accessories they come with. They're fun.
So I guess that's his arm cannon. And let me go ahead and
Marvel Disc Wars. Have you ever heard of that one? Apparently that's the line.
No, I have not. So that's the T-Rex, which in the pictures he looks a little bigger. He's not. He's big, but he's not that. Like this.
Kind of like. It's kind of like Snake Plissken. You thought he'd be taller when you meet him in person.
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm just saying, like Thor here or Iron Man is like $10, and that guy's like $30, and I'm just wondering why.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah.
How much is the Hulk one? About the same as the Ultron? Or
Hulk
do you know yet?
is he's a little bigger, but he's only like 15 for Hulk. So and there's Doc.
That's an odd pricing gap because the Ultron doesn't seem to come with that much extra for the price.
No, and those armor pieces do snap onto him, and you could make it an exosuit of some type. But I they're so fiddly. I'll do it on a separate video, maybe put it out there. But I don't know. I'm glad to have another villain, but I wish I didn't have to spend $30 to get him.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I just didn't want to say I was going to unbox them and then not unbox them. So there you go. I'm a man of my word, people. If there's anything you want to see, I'd be happy to hold it up to cam or something. But I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen these before. Right. And like I said, I want the line to succeed. So like my criticism of their pricing and stuff like that really comes from a part of I don't want them to sit there and shelf and peg warm for 3 months and then go on clearance again. It's like, I'd rather see them like at a slightly reduced price and like kind of turning over quickly, and maybe kids getting into them so they could put more out for the line. I want more 1/18 scale stuff, so I want to see it succeed. So I do support it, but um,
And it's a tough thing with a lot of these, and it's not just Hasbro, Mattel, and some of the other companies out there in the 1/18th scale kind of do this. They'll put
mhm,
out a line that has a gimmick to it, and they won't support it. They'll put out 1 or 2 series, and they don't put out all the characters you want, and then
yeah.
they stop. They stop
Well,
producing that line and go to something else.
what's odd about this is the third season of Mech Strike. They did Mech Strike. I forget what the first one was called, but those were 6-inch figures, right? And then they did Mech Strike Monster Hunters, which were like another gimmick,
Yeah, and then
and
they
they
went
were
away.
a different
That
scale. And then
Right.
they
That one
came out
had
with this
like
one.
Doctor Doom as the main villain, and now they're back to Ultron for this new line. It's like, eh,
Yeah, and it's like a third series, and it is it's a third series and it's a third scale, and now it's like another thing. Or I wish they would just tell us about them, like let us know what's coming, because at least it just seems like they're just showing up on store shelves, and
yeah.
like even
No
the
way. Thanks
checkbook.
for dropping in.
Oh yeah,
See you
see
later.
you soon, man. Take care of those piggies. The Shang-Chi dragon for the Mechasaurus line. Yeah, like if they did like a deluxe line, and they like the dragon was like more of a vehicle than a
Or,
mech thing. You know what I mean? I think
or
it'd be really
yeah.
cool. That Thor with
I
the
think,
ram, I would buy that in a heartbeat. If they make that thing and he could ride on top of it, of course I'm buying it.
yeah,
That's a no
lose
brainer.
the snap on armor concept. Go with
Yeah.
just the cool companion animal ride
Hmm.
mount thing.
Yeah,
Much
and even
better.
if the ride or the mount like kind of transforms into a like mask vehicles. Like they were a vehicle, but then they like missiles popped out of their sides. Like they had like a war mode or something like that. That's cool. I would do something like that
Yeah.
for sure. So, all right. Well, we're at almost an hour and a half, guys. I got all the news done. We've talked. Anyone in the chat have any questions or concerns or things they want to bring up before we go? Let's give it like another 5 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. More
Bjorn
people
wants to
need
see
to talk
more.
1/18
Yeah.
scale. Well, get on here and talk about it with me then. Yeah.
Well, Casey, I'm looking forward to checking out your podcast from the pit. Is that
Yep.
how
Hmm.
it's okay?
Hmm.
That'll be fun. And really appreciate you sharing your Doctor Who stuff. I got to check out this store that's near you. That sounds like an awesome place to hang
Yeah.
out.
What's that place
Yeah.
called? Is it, or
It,
do they have an online
yeah, they
component?
do. It's called Who North America.
Who North America? Hey, it's easy.
Yeah.
I don't think
They
you need a
have
link for
great
that.
online. Half of it's a store, half of it's a museum
Wow.
of
That
all.
sounds fun.
Really?
I think it's his childhood stuff from 60s, 70s. Plus, they got
Cool.
some big props of Daleks, Cybermen, of course, the TARDIS.
Yeah.
There's some pictures on my Instagram for Podcast from the Pit from my last trip there. So
Oh,
if anybody
nice,
wants to check
nice.
that out,
Yeah, I'd love to check that out. And then Long's Toys here saying, I'd really love someone like Jazzwares to do a World of Warcraft 1/18 scale line, place that's mounts so much. Are you
Oh,
kidding
yeah.
me?
yeah,
Longs,
That'd be
man,
so
let's
fun.
talk about this, because yeah, I even tried to like use like the WoW model viewer to like I was trying to make an STL and like print a dwarf, because I wanted a dwarf mountaineer 1/18 scale figure. Oh my god, he's talking. I heard someone got the World of Warcraft license recently. Didn't some company? I don't know if they do 1/18 scale, but I would love to see that, bro. That would be
that would be
awesome.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
love
That'd be worth
Second,
looking
fantasy.
into.
and then Bjorn said he'll come on when his ship is closer to finishing. Yeah, you know what? We could have a countdown for your ghost. I'd love to see you get that. We know it's funded. We know you're getting it, buddy. So let's see, from Doctor Who. It
Oh,
looks like a spider legs,
Yeah.
like the four of them. That is a
That
cool
was
looking figure.
he was another one of those who was in one episode of the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, and he was like some sort of battle droid that he had to battle.
okay. Hey, I like it though, man. Oh, Toddy Mac's doing statues. Is that right? Yeah, it's not the same as
Mm.
1/18 scale, but yeah, the just mounts alone, you could make them all day long, and mini buildings and stuff like that. I would love to do it. If I had $1 million, I would. I'd be making them myself. Um, Epic Badger would like to come on and talk about 92 through 94 GI Joes. I have a few of my childhood vehicles, and I do have a few custom Joes. Epic Badger, you are always welcome anytime. So just message me, or just let me know in the group chat. You can pop on anytime. We'll talk about that. And Ken from Toy Connections.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Ken, how are you, buddy? Ken's gonna come on and I don't know. He's never gonna come
He
on.
will.
One
You
day,
just
one day maybe.
all you just talk Transformers or Delta 17, and Ken will show up.
Yeah, maybe we get the GI Joe Transformers crossover 1/18 scale. He'll come on
Ooh.
and talk with me about that. All right, well, guys, thank you so much, man. It was an awesome day. Great 1/8 team. Good job, team. Good job, Hannibal. Good job, BA. And I guess I'm what am I? I'm Murdoch, right? Yeah, I'm the kooky one.
Oh, by the way, Ken did do a update on all the Ramen toy stuff coming out, including their mask, Machina, I think is what they're calling their line. The gull wing that they're doing, and they're doing the sub one. I can't remember the name of that, and some other goodies from Ramen Toys. So please check that out on Ken's channel.
I will watch that at work tomorrow.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna check it out probably right after this. And Johnny wants to know: are people shorter than 1/18 allowed to play with the toys? Absolutely, yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate all of you in chat for interacting. Casey, thank you so much for coming on and talking Doctor Who.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, man, it's the best. Be sure to check out Podcast from the Pit, link below, and check out all that cool stuff. And Delta 17, please go show them some love.
Scott, the Ramen toy stuff is 1/18 scale, so they scaled it up to be 1/18 compatible for their Machina.
Really?
So check out Ken's review on that and find out more.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Thanks, guys.
See ya.